Alright, welcome back everybody. Today we're doing another EDH deck. Not really a new deck, more like I'm editing an old deck to make it a little more mean. So I have two Brago decks, and I actually have these in real life. So I'm not sure if you can see the title of this one. There we go. Maybe you can, maybe you can't. But essentially this one says Brago 150 with counters. With counter spells. When I initially made it, this $150 version, it was all about getting my infinite combo with my commander ASAP. So in case you don't know, my commander is Brago. And he says whenever Brago deals combat damage to a player, exile any number of target non-land permanents you control, then return to the battlefield under the owner's control. So this is known as blinking. So when you blink something, you remove from the battlefield. It gets exiled, but then it comes right back in immediately at instant speed. So this doesn't seem too great, and it seems very iffy. The thing is, this deck can be built amazingly on a budget, because you're essentially abusing enter the battlefield effects. For example, Phyrexian and Jester. When it enters the battlefield, you may exile target non-token creature. The second effect doesn't matter, it just gets +1 counters. The point is, for 7 mana you can exile a creature on the field, and it's on a body, so you can also attack with this creature. Now that might seem expensive, but when you're doing it every turn, like something this janky, for example, Gate Oracle, when it enters, scry 2, so you look at the top 2 cards, put one into your hand and the other in the bottom of your library. You're essentially drawing a card, an extra card each turn. You're looking at two different cards each turn, and you get to choose which one you want to put in your hand. Then there's all the way this wins, this deck, is you go infinite with something like Peregrine Drake and Deadeye Navigator to get infinite mana. So essentially, Deadeye Navigator lets you blink a creature for 2 mana. Peregrine Drake, when it enters, says untap 5 lands. So you can tap 5 lands, use 2 to blink Peregrine Drake, and untap 5 lands. So you're netting 3 mana each time you do this combo. And so you can just get infinite mana of any color you want. Excuse me. But I want to make this meaner. In my $150 version, I have like 5 ways to go infinite. So it's Deadeye Navigator, Peregrine Drake for infinite mana. Then I can just draw my deck with Cloud Blazer and Deadeye Navigator. I can bounce all permanents with Venser Shaper Savant, including lands. I can get infinite tokens if I want. I can get all my lands onto the battlefield tapped. Reflector Mage bounces all permanents. What else is there? Right, so Lithoform Engine is the way I go infinite. For 2 mana, I can copy Brago's ability and do it once again. And then if I blink a Lithoform Engine with its own copied ability, I can go infinite as well. We also have the main way to go infinite, which is Strionic Resonator. We have 2 ways to go infinite, and this deck pretty much tutors for these 2 cards. Otherwise, we, aim to get our other combo pieces on the field. But I also built a $40 version. It also has counter spells, which is pretty important, I guess. The counter spells in Azorius are pretty amazing, in my opinion. You get stuff like Render Silent, counter target spell, and if this resolves, its controller can't cast spells for the rest of this turn. It's just amazing. So this is a lot more budget friendly. It's around 40-50 bucks, and you can tell that it's budget by the mana in the deck. No Soul Ring, no Arcane Signet, no Thought Vessel. There is a Mind Stone, but you know, that's just the basic stuff. Ultra the Brood is in here, and I do think this makes most of the cost of the deck. It's like 10 bucks, Ultra the Brood by itself, and this can mill your opponents. Once you start setting up a proper board, you can mill your opponents for like, I don't know, 10 cards each turn, or each time you attack. And if you get double strike on your commander, you can do twice as much mill, or twice as many effects. Now, I do have, like, most of the stuff in this deck is either removal, or bouncing things back to your hand. And everything beyond that is just ways to go infinite. The lands aren't too important, you're running 2 colors. So I want to make it more mean. I want this to be 100% bounce things back to your hand each turn. And in a 1v1 setting, this is going to be very mean. So what I want to do is just... I guess we can... let's just start a new deck from scratch. I was gonna try copying it and then just editing out cards, but we are gonna go for building it from scratch. Okay, so first of all, we're gonna add a basic infinite combo. So, Mnemonic Wall and Ghostly Flicker. So, with these two and then a third card, we can technically go infinite. This infinite is also in the budget Brago deck and also the expensive Brago deck. So Ghostly Flicker says, exile 2 target artifacts, creatures, and or lands you control, then return those cards to the battlefield under your control. So this, in combination with something like Peregrine Drake. So Mnemonic Wall says, when it enters the battlefield, return target instant or sorcery card from your graveyard to your hand. So you pay 3 mana, you blink these two, you get Ghostly Flicker back to your hand from Mnemonic Wall, and then you untap 5 lands. So you get infinite mana in the process, and then with Ghostly Flicker and Mnemonic Wall, you can choose a third target for this spell. For example, Fencer, Shaper Savant. So once you get infinite mana, you can Ghostly Flicker, Mnemonic Wall, and Fencer, Shaper Savant to bounce everything back to your opponent's hands. We're gonna name this Brago Bounce Rival. We're gonna save this. Now, I do believe there's really good budget bounce cards in both of my decks, so I'm going to be using the decks I've previously built for reference. Okay, so we'll take a look at what I have here. Aether Adapt is really good. Tempest Caller. Tap all creatures target opponent controls. This isn't too good, except it combos awesomely with Sunblast Angel. When Sunblast Angel enters the battlefield, destroy all tapped creatures. So technically this is a dead card. Where is it? Tempest Caller. I would have cut it, but I wanted to keep this deck pretty budget, since we're pretty much flying under the radar anyway. So I just want to focus on bounce cards for now. Wait, no. The way I'm gonna do this instead, I know it's all over the place, but you know, that's how these deck techs are usually gonna go. I want to build the foundation first, before I start adding the actual bounce cards. So it's gonna be Soul Ring. Not gonna skimp out this time. Which one has the art? Come on now. Oh geez, none of them have the art. They're... Full Talisman as well. That's a second Soul Ring. Arcane Signet. Now Mana Rocks are really important because Brago can blink Mana Rocks as well. I'm gonna want Mind Stone. We don't want the Mana Rocks to be too expensive either. Excuse me. What else? I need Zoria's Signet. These are off the top of my head. Just the Mana Rocks I might need. Now, I might also want something like Revelark, but that's later on. For now, just Wayfarer's Bauble for ramp. Yeah, so it's gonna be ramp for now, and the Sad Robot is gonna count as well. What is it called? I forgot the actual name of the card. I just know its nickname is Sad Robot. Yeah, let me check. I know you can't see when I open these deck lists, but it's necessary here. It is... Wait, where is it? Do I not have it in this deck? Apparently I don't. There we go, Solemn Simulacrum. This counts as mana ramp since it gets a land onto the battlefield, and when it dies we get to draw a card, so that's pretty OP. I also want Strionic Resonator and Panharmonicon. Excuse me. Okay, what else? Let's add the lands now, so that way we know what we're working with. I'm gonna add 30 of these. And then 30 of these as well. Okay, this song is a bit much, let me switch. And it's an absurd amount of lands, but I just wanna... It's easier to remove a certain amount than to add a certain amount. I'm gonna remove 5 and remove 5. Okay. I am gonna check this deck for what lands I run. So sorry, excuse me. I think I do run a War Room in here. Alright. It's gonna be Glacial Fortress. What was the other one? Prairie Stream? Yeah. Then Hollowed Fountain as well. Okay. I also want Reliquary Tower. Damn, none of these have art. There we go. I also want War Room, because... Wait. Not War Room, there was another card. And it was like a very specific tech card. Endless Sands. So, in a clutch situation, Endless Sands is gonna save us. I'll show you where right now what it is. Endless Sands. Go for 4. Oh no, for 2 we can exile target creature. And then later on for 4 we can sacrifice it and bring back a creature that was exiled. That way we can protect our stuff. If need be. I also need Rogue's Passage. Yeah, so we have 56 lands. I'm gonna want to remove 4. Remove 4. Remove 4. 40 lands seems okay, I think. And let's remove one of these. One of these just to make it 38. Okay. Now we have a strong foundation. We have mana rocks. I would like more mana rocks though. Let's look at other decks and see what mana rocks they have. Now, was it this deck? It might have been this deck that has a bunch of mana rocks. Alright, I also need to add the blink and the counters. Soul Ring, Wayfarer's Bauble, Thought Vessel, Talisman of Progress, Star Compass, Magic Lens. Yeah, I need all these. I'm so sorry. Had to clear my throat. Yeah, Soria's Signet. Billware Stone is pretty expensive, but it's worth it. So, Gilded Lotus, Thought Vessel, Talisman of Progress, Star Compass. I don't know about Star Compass because it enters tapped, but Prismatic Lens for sure. Billware Stone as well. So we want Gilded Lotus. Thought Vessel. Not Star Compass, what was the other one? Prismatic Lens. Billware Stone. This should be enough, I think. We really want our creatures to do most of the work here. We want more removal than anything. Well, not removal, but bounce effects. We do need Cloud Blazer to draw. We also want Mold Drifter. Drawing is very important in these colors because we don't have access to too many ways to draw. We also need Mist Metal Witch. Oh wait, I just realized we need to add counters. So counter spell. And we do want hard counters. I really don't fuck with cards that say like counter target non-creature spell, because those actually end up being dead cards when they matter most. We need cancel. Dissipate. Dissolve. And they are more expensive counter spells, but they are 100% worth it. Dovens. Beta. Arcane Denial is actually pretty good as well. Because it costs 2. What was the other one? Render Silent. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 counter spells. I might want 8. A solid 8 is pretty good. What do I want TS to be though? I already have Dissipate, Dissolve. Oh, Tail's End. It's such a good counter spell. Because it can counter activated abilities, triggered abilities, and legendary spells. Not spells directly, but this has more utility than most spells. Okay. Now we'll go on to our Blink effects. Need Ephemerate. Ephemerate goes infinite with Mnemonic Wall by itself, because there's a weird interaction where you can play Ephemerate on anything, and then during your next upkeep, if you use Ephemerate to blink Mnemonic Wall, you can get Ephemerate right back to your hand somehow, so it doesn't get exiled quite yet, which is pretty cool. Muted myself real quick to clear my throat again. So this is a pretty solid foundation. We need Turn to Mist. We also want Momentary Blink. We also want Flicker of Fate. Let's also check the other decks to see what else they're running. Well, they're also my decks, so Eerie Interlude is really good. Okay, Eerie Interlude is pretty important. We also want this to get an extra planes on our field. Yeah, I'm gonna keep checking to see if I can get more ramp in here. Ooh, Prosperous Pirates. Wait, Trinket Mage and Tribute Mage I do need in the deck, because they are tutors. Trinket Mage, search for something that costs 1. And now that I have 2 Soul Rings, that's going to be more useful. Tribute Mage searches for something that costs exactly 2, which should be one of my better mana rocks, or even Strionic Resonator. Okay, I wanted to check for ramp, but I ended up getting distracted. Okay, so I want Keeper of the Accord and Prosperous Pirate. So Prosperous Pirates cost 5, but it gets you 2 treasure tokens. Which at first doesn't make a difference, but let's say you tap out and on your turn you only play Prosperous Pirates and pass. You technically have 2 mana open to play a counterspell. Because most counterspells cost, well, some counterspells cost 2. Or you could blink a creature, or you can turn to mist one of your opponent's creatures to prevent them from doing something. You know, you get a lot of flexibility with that. Also, Whirler Rogue. This will get you 2 tokens, and it'll make sure Brago's unblockable. I missed one. Okay, so that should be it for the ramp. Yeah, I know you can't see this quite yet, but you know, it is what it is. Okay, now let's get on to the actual bounce effects. We need Spine of Ishtar, and this destroys any permanent on the field for 7 mana. Pretty expensive, but we're gonna add another one that's expensive. Meteor Golem. Normally it's a jank card, but in this case we're gonna be blinking it every turn. Sorry. So that's gonna make it really, really good. We also want Aether Adept to bounce a creature. Sun Titan is pretty important. Whoa, Sundering Titan sounds OP. It also hits us, but you know, it's I don't know, I don't think it's worth it. Right, Reflector Mage as well. So Reflector Mage just straight up says return target creature and they can't cast it next turn. Oh, there's also Riftwing Cloudscape. And this straight up says return target permanent to its owner's hand, so that includes lands as well. Now, Riftwing costs 2, which means, well, it has 2 life, so Revelark is really gonna be amazing here to bring it back from the graveyard. Also, Karmic Guide got really cheap lately. Yeah, so this is pretty important. Okay, sorry, was doing something real quick. Okay, so we are at 84 cards. We have quite a few cards to go. And we seem to be running out of cards that blink or that remove creatures from the field. Oh, Sphinx. There's just one Sphinx. Okay, so this is basically a fact or fiction on a body. Reveal top 5 cards, and opponent separates them into 2 piles, put 1 pile into your hand, deal into the graveyard. That's pretty cool. Okay. Let me... Sorry, I'm just looking through some of these. So Manowar and Aether Depth. Come on now. Okay. There we go. So this just says return target creature to its owner's hand. And for Depth. Oh, it's already in there. Aether Gale is interesting. Actually, let's put that in there, just to be extra mean. Where is it? This one, Aether Snipe. Interesting. Aetherize, just to drive home that we want creatures back to their hands. Okay, let's look through some more of these. Ooh, Luminant Primordials, an interesting one. Very expensive though, mana-wise. I'll show you in a bit. This Luminarch. Okay, Luminant Primordial. There we go. When it enters the battlefield for each opponent, exile 1 target creature they control, and they gain life equal to its power. So it's really a very low price to pay. They gain a little bit of life, and you get rid of their most important creature. It is expensive mana-wise, but we're going to be dropping bombs every turn to try and fetch out their own counterspells. If they have counterspells, if they don't, they're just going to have a bad time. Think I'm running out of bounce effects in my own decks, which is an interesting sight. We might actually run cloning effects. Okay, so it's going to be Lavinia the 10th as well, because it's just a really good stacks piece. If we can't bounce their artifacts, this is going to take care of them. Retain each non-land permanent your opponents control with mana value 4 or less. Until your next turn, those permanents can't attack or block, and their activated abilities can't be activated. So any mana rock that costs 4 or less can't be activated, which is straight up amazing. And you can just blink it each turn and make it OP. Which other one did I want to add? Alright, clone and clever impersonator. To copy stuff on my own field. Clone. There we go. Clever impersonator. We only have a few cards to go, so for the purpose of sort of showing, okay, so you should be able to see that. I literally typed in return target creature to its owner's hand, and gathererwizards.com is essentially Scryfall. And Scryfall is an amazing website because it can give you a bunch of cards that do the thing you're looking for. Now, I've already looked at some of these. They are mostly instants and sorceries, and I want enter the battlefield effects, such as even Fogbringer, which we are going to add to the deck. It says when it enters the battlefield, return target land to its owner's hand. For 4 mana, that's an amazing value, especially since we're going to be doing it more than once each turn. So Avon, Fogbringer. We'll open this back up and keep searching. Interesting, so I can play this. This with Brago is just perfect, isn't it? Because I attack with Brago, and then after Brago attacks, he gets a blink effect. So Did I Recaller enters after Brago attacks. Let's check the price on this. Did I Recaller? It shouldn't be too expensive, it's just very specific card. Yeah, it's common. So we'll add that to the deck. Already added it, let's continue searching. Whenever you play a spell during an opponent's turn, you may return target creature you control to its owner's hand. That's different. Target land to its owner's hand. Bro, we're getting insane value here. Let's look this up as well. Glowing Anemone. $0.25 as well. Jesus, dude. We are cracked. Okay, it's a sorcery. That's Jace. What does it have an enter the battlefield effect? I don't know about this. It's very specific. Oh, Mistraven used to be in one of my old decks, but I took it out for some reason. For a creature to its owner's hand. Okay, this isn't good value so far. Interesting. Surge Spanner seems like really good value. Very specific though. Yo. I can tap 2 untapped creatures I control, which I'm gonna be doing anyway. Return target permanent to its owner's hand. It is a rare though. We'll check the price. Trade Wind Rider. This is really good. Yeah, it's like $5 or something. We can get it for $2.50 though. So it's as high as $5. It used to be 25 cents. Yeah, this is a steal. We'll add it to the deck. We have 2 more cards we can add. Let's continue looking. Okay, Venture is already in the deck. For 5? I don't think that's worth it. Target artifact. This is different, and this is worth it. Let's look that up. Dispersal Technician. Yeah, it's a common. I'm gonna add that as well. We can add 1 more card. Sacrifice a permanent, return target permanent to its owner's hand. If we could get tokens, that might be good. Okay, this is for snow permanents. Creature. Whoa. Okay, that isn't worth it. The counter spell. The Riftwing is already in the deck. That's not worth it. Whoa, rebound. Need to snipe already in the deck. Ooh, this is expensive, but it might be worth it. If you control an artifact or enchantment, return target creature an opponent controls to its owner's hand. Very specific. I have one of these. It's expensive, but it's worth it because you get the choice. Online permanent, so I can tap this wizard. But it doesn't have an ETB, so it's not as good. This might be worth it. Like, it's expensive, but it's any non-land permanent. Oh wait. Well, never mind. We can just get Tidespout. Yeah, it's like $5. Let's do this one. Or is it worth it? No, because this has like a big reputation. This is gonna be an interesting card when people see it on the field. Brynhilde the Moon Kraken. Okay, it's a common. From Commander Legends as well. Nice. So we'll add that to the deck, and that'll be the final card. Alright, now we can test it out. I'll play Brago Bounce, and I'll give my opponent the... I want to give him an aggro deck. Cat Tribal aggro, there we go. Soul Ring and a counter spell in hand. Yep, we keep this. So Plains, Soul Ring, and we pass. Turn 2 Commander looks pretty good. Okay, so we are taking quite a bit of damage. Can we bounce something already? Not yet, but look at this. This interaction is important. We bounce, blink these three, I guess, and then I can return this to its hand. Perfect. And then things just work out. Play an island. Wait, is this a May? Yeah, no, it's not a May, so I have to be careful as well. And this does say non-land permanent. So we are in a bit of a predicament. I guess for now we'll just attack with this and blink these three. And set them back. We can counter that. I mean, it gets exiled. We'll just attack again. Blink these three. Return it. And pass. That's an expensive spell. It'd be a shame if someone countered it. Sure. So I draw one, they draw two. I'll play Tribute Mage. And search for an artifact that costs 2. I don't think Mind Stone is necessary here. We'll get Arcane Signet. And now we can attack with Brago. Blink everything, and now we get to tutor for a second. Artifact that costs 2. I think I want Thought Vessel. And then we'll pass. Do I not have a counterspell for that? It's probably not good. But also Summoning Sickness. Ooh, Spine is bad. Spine wins, I think, next turn, believe it or not. We'll destroy this and return this. Tribute Mage will get me my combo piece. And obviously this is pretty much gold fishing, because there's no interaction. We can't counter this turn either, so we'll just let it slide. We'll play this. Okay, so we'll attack with Brago. And the only thing I'm going to blink is Soul Ring, Strident Resonator, and the Spine. So, I'll tap Soul Ring, blink these 4. So Spine, I'll destroy Arrowbow. Then I'll do it again. Blink these 3, destroy this, and we'll just destroy all their lands, and we can theoretically call it a win. Yeah, we can pretty much call that a win. Uh-oh. I just blinked those 2 for no reason. We'll destroy the forests first. I think the only issue is that we didn't draw the right amount of lands. Because we have plenty of interaction in our hand. But no actual way to make me get the proper amount of lands. Alright, so we'll call it a win. And I know it's only 1, but I really just want to get over with this because it's been a pretty long while. Okay, now I'm gonna plug this deck into Card Kingdom's deck builder. And you should be able to see it here. I already clicked find cards, it's just loading. And we can get the price of the deck, that way you guys can see the actual price of this kind of deck. It shouldn't be too expensive. At least as far as I know. Because a lot of these are just commons. like janky cards that brago can abuse. Yeah, $100 flat. That's pretty much, well, okay, not as cheap as it gets, but that's like around $1 a card for a really mean deck. Like a really mean deck. But yeah, if you enjoyed it, do let me know. Okay, so this is gonna be the deck list. I'll run through it very slowly. It's gonna be these up to Cloud Blazer. You can take screenshots, I guess. Then from Cloud Blazer, it's gonna be these. Then from Gilded Lotus, it is these. From Momentary Blink is these. From Rogue's Passage, it is these. And then there's only a few left. But yeah, if you enjoyed, leave a like, subscribe, and I don't do these too often. I don't stream these either. But yeah, this is something I do for fun sometimes, just build new decks. And this is a commander deck, I don't know why I forgot to say. But yeah, see you guys next time.